Okay, so this is my video self-edit submission, and first of all I need to put in the proper heading and title on my paper. But besides that, I guess we'll get started. Having power is something that so many people spend a good portion of their life working towards in this society that exists today. But that is nothing new. Ever since the time of Shakespeare, C.S. Lewis, and even before then, so many people have been searching for that power. Although, along the way, some people become corrupted and do things that are unjust and go against how God tells us to live, just so that they can grasp a hold of that power they have been longing to have for however long. I should probably make that sentence into two because that seems a little long, like it runs on together. The corruption that comes through holding a position of power is evidenced in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Macbeth, and Richard III. Next paragraph. Macbeth, a work of literature written by the ever-so-famous William Shakespeare, is a tragedy about a man that did whatever he could in his power to make it to the top. I need to put a comma after could. Macbeth, the power-hungry character, was once a cool, calm, and collected man. Power had not always been the one main desire in his lifetime. I need to make lifetime into life. His wife even went so far as to question his manliness. She told him, "Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou wholly, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou wouldst have great glamis, that which cries, thus thou must do. If thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, then wishes should be undone." I need to cite that quote and fix a couple punctuation errors. In this passage, Lady Macbeth is basically telling her husband that she does not think he has what it takes to go and take a hold of the crown and all the power that is to come with it. And I'm going to change that to all the power that comes with it. In fact, it was not until the witches appeared to Macbeth and told him that he would gain all of this power that he became so driven to be at the top. The three witch sisters appeared to Macbeth exclaiming, "All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis, all hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor, all hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter." And I need to cite that quote as well. It was very soon after this moment that things begin to change for Macbeth. Kessler states that Macbeth becomes corrupt through power that he gains. Macbeth kills his way to the top, spurred on by his insanely ambitious wife, who in the end is driven to insane suicide by the shame and corruption of the very power she sought. The play shows that even someone who starts out like Macbeth and does not crave power will do terrible things to gain authority and power. Shakespeare paints us a picture of how harsh the people of a corrupted kingdom can be. Macbeth and his wife, Lady Macbeth, are the characters that have experienced the most corruption because of their longing to have power. Their ostentatious ways of behaving cause them to go above and beyond extreme measures to become the king and the queen by killing Duncan, so that they are able to obtain his position and power. The theme of power corrupts was seen in the leadership of Queen Elizabeth as she executed over 800 people. The people that Queen Elizabeth executed were considered by her to be rebels. Claims were also made about her and her right to even be on the throne. Many of England's people believed that Elizabeth's sister Mary should have been queen mainly because of her son James, who would be in line to take the throne. There were many accusations that were made against Mary, stating that she was behind the plots to get rid of her sister. Mary was supposedly conspiring against her own sister. Since there were so many plots made against Queen Elizabeth, she had Mary executed in 1587. To rid her of that possible threat of her power being taken away. This is only one of many examples of how power leads to corruption from back in William Shakespeare's life. He used power corrupts to really put an emphasis as to what was going on among the different towns, cities, and kingdoms during his time. And I need to split that one big paragraph into different smaller paragraphs. C.S. Lewis is considered by some to be one of the greatest Christian authors to this day. One of the more famous and well-renowned works is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. In this literary work, the different characters all represent different biblical figures in some sort of way. Aslan the Lion, the good, wise ruler of the kingdom of Narnia, is the character who represents Jesus throughout the story. The White Witch, who causes winter to last forever in the land of Narnia, is the evil character that represents Satan and all of the evil that comes with him. The witches, wolves, and dwarfs represent Satan's demons and followers. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy Pevensey are the children of Adam and Eve Pevensey. That then gives them the representation of mankind, the descendants of Adam and Eve. Not only is the theme, power leads to corruption displayed through the character of the White Witch, it is also displayed through the character of Edmund. Hannah Goodwin of Christian Broadcasting Network points out Edmund's longing for power when she states, "The jealousy he holds against his siblings is fueled when the White Witch convinces him that she will make him a prince. His selfishness and desire to avenge his pride leads him to betray his brother and sister." And I need to cite that quote better. Edmund turns to the leader of all things evil in Narnia just so that he can gain power. The corruption that comes through Edmund's desire is seen when the author is speaking, when he states that Edmund secretly thought that it would not be as good fun for him as for her. He would have to admit that Lucy had been right before all the others, and he felt sure the others would all be on the side of the fawns and the animals, but he was already more than half on the side of the witch. He did not know what he would say or how he would keep his secret once they were talking about Narnia. I need to cite the page for that quote. Although Edmund at first did not see all of the harm in taking and eating the White Witch's Turkish delights or drinking from her cup, it led him to the point of betraying his own brothers and sisters. That then put them all in danger of being captured by the White Witch. C.S. Lewis uses this theme that is constantly evidenced throughout The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to point out the walk of mankind and the struggles that are faced between giving into temptation and evil just to gain worldly power and following God and doing what is right. This story was ideal for C.S. Lewis's generation because of the corruption that Hitler brought upon Germany through the power that he gained before and during World War II. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is still a very evident example to this generation of how power can corrupt and destroy a person. And I need to split that giant paragraph up too and give more details on the witch and her power corrupts. Through another one of William Shakespeare's great literary works, Richard III, we can see the continuing theme of power corrupts. This play is set during the time when Tudors were still ruling in England. Richard, the character that this story surrounds, is doing everything he possibly can to seize the power of the throne. King Edward, Richard's older brother, holds the power of the throne when the play starts. Richard schemes to prevent his older brother from advancing any further as king. He also kills his younger brother, Clarence, just to be safe and get him out of the way. Right from the beginning, it is obvious that this desire for power that Richard has is corrupting him so much to the point that he kills his very own brothers. For the same reason that Shakespeare used the theme of power corrupts in his play, Macbeth, he uses it again here in Richard III. He was writing a play that related to those who held power in the throne. During the composition of this play, it was Edward and Richard who held power within the throne. He used power corrupts in this play to, again, put emphasis on the corruption amongst the rulers of the time. And I can probably elaborate a little bit more on Richard III. In conclusion, throughout the works of some of the authors and playwrights of this time period, a common theme can be drawn out. In this era, and even today, there was very much corruption amongst the throne and those who held power. They became so power-hungry that innocent people were murdered and the trust within relationships was completely destroyed. From these literary works, it can be concluded that a person cannot let their desire to gain power and become the one in charge, lead them down a path of ruin where they're willing to go against God and his commandments just to get to the top. And that is it. I just need to complete part of my outline, and there's probably a few punctuation errors that I missed, like a couple commas, and I think that is it.